You know, sometimes women have it a lot easier than men do. So, of course, it's a little tumultuous for the different genders out there and convenient for some other ones, as one woman now is being described as the most powerful woman in the world. Who is she? Who does she have ties with? As the National File came out and said former China lobbyist Susie Willis continues to reign terror in Trump's White House. What does terror mean? As, of course, Trump's comments here were very interesting, to say the least, here, as the New York Post literally has an article describing how she has Trump by the huevos. Is that actually true? Is that really what's going on here? As there's been a lot of different kind of scuttlebutt, specifically about who kicked out Elon Musk from the White House, what led to a lot of the kind of very not MAGA first type of policies that have been instituted here, as RFK Jr. actually came out in defense of this woman. What in the world's going on here? Who's telling the truth? As Alex Jones has his own personal theories about what he thinks is going on here. And we're going to be talking about that and a lot more, all here on this independent media broadcast. And if you appreciate these types of conversations, subscribe, click the notification button. We greatly appreciate all the time that you spend with us. Now, lots of different rumors, lots of different scuttlebutt here, as a lot of people are saying, wait, is there consulting fees to have access to the President of the United States? What's really going on here? As, of course, we have to understand here, Susie Willis has an interesting past here that a lot of people are bringing up here, as now more people are paying attention to her, as Donald Trump, and he said this, he made a very similar statement beforehand, just came out and said this.
Susie Wells, she had a father, Pat Summerall, the great announcer, football. He was a great football player, became an even greater, the voice of the NFL, and he was supposed to be a tough cookie, and I believe it 100%. Most powerful woman in the world.
Tough cookie. If you remember Tucker Carlson, he was even describing how Susie Willis was crying backstage at the Charlie Kirk Memorial, and he says even she broke down emotionally, saying that was something that people usually don't see from her. As, of course, there's a big famous photo of her looking over Donald Trump with these eyes, highlighting how a lot of people believe that there might be a little bit more to this relationship with this kind of chief of staff than meets the eyes here.
She can take out a country, take out a country with one phone call. That's power. I don't know if I could do that, but she could. Thank you, Susie. Do you feel good about the job you're doing? Huh? She's never going to be satisfied.
Never going to be satisfied. Tough as a cookie, as she has received a moniker of being described as the, quote, Ice Maiden. Yep, you heard that correctly. As, of course, she has worked as a political consultant, as a lobbyist, and she is the 32nd White House Chief of Staff. She is the lady that also is the one that allegedly got into a tiff, got into an argument with Elon Musk and pushed him out of the federal government from being able to achieve a lot of the things that we hoped he would have achieved. As if you remember, Elon Musk was like, hey guys, we have a lot of work staff here, heads of department. Have your employees email you to see if there's any fake people out there, people collecting checks that they're not supposed to be collecting and abusing the system. Kash Patel came out and said, I'm not doing that. And then all these other heads of agencies were like, yeah, I'm not doing that either. And it's like, okay, I'm here to make sure there's no fraud, waste, and abuse. Can you guys participate with me? Nope. And he got shut down. He got pushed out. Susie had some interesting comments to say about Elon. We're going to play that in a little bit, as the health ranger responded to saying, quote, now we know she holds something huge over his head. He just confirmed it. That's what the New York Post is writing. We'll get into that New York Post article here, as Mary Tallow Badwin came out and said, is she why Dr. Stephen Hatfill was fired? And then, of course, the memes here are pretty interesting. There's a lot of people accusing her of some nefarious behavior, as the Washington Post previously reported that the White House chief of staff once worked for Netanyahu. Oh, an individual who has been extremely disrespectful to Donald Trump in the public eye. Donald Trump many times has said, hey, Bibi, please do not do this. And Bibi did this multiple occasions, multiple times. Press conferences before the President of the United States, taking credit and acting like he's the kind of head honcho here. And if you have one of his kind of like former advisors running the White House, it does explain why potentially Bibi Netanyahu is getting everything that he's kind of ever wanted, according to a lot of policy analysts that are describing Donald Trump's policies as kind of a carte blanche, kind of a open check to Bibi Netanyahu, as of course Donald Trump just a few days ago even sent a letter saying, hey, do not hold him accountable for his corruption charges. Pardon him now. Max Blumenthal had some very interesting comments about this, as he said, responding to this clip. Nice reminder that Trump's chief of staff, Susie Willis, worked on Netanyahu's re-election campaign. He then came out and had some interesting things to say about her on InfoWars, as well as Alex Jones, speaking to Tim Dillon. We're going to play those clips and then give you our kind of analysis here at the end of this video. As of course, a lot of accusations are flying around. Are they true? We'll tell you in a little bit. Before we do, though, really quickly and shortly, sign up to LukeUnfiltered.com. The group chat's going to be coming back anytime now. We've been behind schedule. I apologize. I've been working very hard here. And we'll make sure to bring that back so you get access to me one-on-one. And we're going to do a special live stream on our new channel, Luke Radowski, 76. We are going to make sure, this is a channel right here, brand new spanking channel here. We already have 672 subscribers. And we are going to make sure, yesterday's video didn't do too well, and I worked pretty hard on it. But YouTube yesterday was like, yeah, no, you're not going to be allowed to talk about the Epstein stuff. We're just going to make sure to downrank that. A lot of unpredictable stuff. That, therefore, your support, more crucial than ever. Can't thank you guys enough, because like the YouTube gods are screwing us heavily, very seriously, and it is not fun to deal with, right? Views down dramatically. This is the time where like views go up, subscribers up, ad revenue up. Nope. Your support, can't thank you guys enough. 20 cents a day, $8 a month, 3 masterclasses, 13 plus years of exclusive videos. We'll bring back the chat. I'll do a special live stream on this channel where I will only be talking to members of this new group chat that we have here. So don't forget to check that out and a lot more, all here by checking out the description down below. Now, let's get back to this particular conversation, as Max Blumenthal came out and had this to say about Susie on Infowars.com.
Going back to what I was telling you before the break, John Ratcliffe, when he was isolated with Donald Trump to basically feed Donald Trump Mossad talking points, including about phony, fabricated WMD propaganda about the Houthis about to get a nuclear weapon from Iran if he didn't strike. He was isolated by Susie Wiles, the chief of staff. And who is Susie Wiles? Subsequent to my report at the Gray Zone citing a inside White House source, a Trump official, we learned that Susie Wiles had actually went to Israel to work for Benjamin Netanyahu on his 2020 re-election campaign. How crazy is that? America first, and your chief of staff literally worked for a foreign leader? What's going on here? I mean, that's what we're unmasking, is the biggest foreign influence infiltration operation in American history that is basically taking control of an administration that says it's America first and is taking us to a very dangerous place. And everybody's concerned about it, including on the left, on the right, and we're also concerned about where we're being taken in this country.
Yeah, as Alex Jones kind of shared those concerns, talking to comedian Tim Dillon here, as a lot of people are saying the policies that are being kind of instituted here are not really favorable towards the American people. And Mike Cernovich, another type of a very big, prominent Trump MAGA guy from the very beginning, a very loyal guy, came on and said, yeah, this administration has been absolutely giving the lobbyists, the special interest groups, the donor class, everything that they have wanted. Now, is that because of someone that is a former lobbyist themselves that's running the White House? That's what a lot of people have come to the conclusion of with their personal type of understanding of the situation.
It's a big, giant operation. Susie Wiles gave him the organizational skills that Trump needed to win. So it's the devil you need, the devil you don't need. But who was she the chief of staff for in his last election? Where does she live part of the year? She works for Benjamin Netanyahu.
Susie?
Hmm?
She works
This was a couple months ago, by the way. This was a video released in July.
for Netanyahu.
She was his chief of staff and his campaign manager.
Interesting. I did not know that. That keeps coming up.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen,
Yeah.
I'm not anti-Israel.
No.
and I'm not
And listen, we don't even have to keep saying that. We're
No,
not
but I don't have a
anti-Israel.
hard on for it. I have responsibility.
You do.
Like a jack-in-the-box at Netanyahu. Jack-in-the-box Netanyahu. Remember?
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's coming up here. The health ranger came out and says, Susie Willis' updated resume. Worked for, quote, Mercury Public Affairs, that her clients like Pfizer, Gilead, and GAVI Procedure Alliance ran Netanyahu's 2020 presidential campaign to keep him out of prison for, quote, alleged corruption and crimes. Represented the largest corporate producers of pesticides, herbicides, and processed junk food that promote obesity and illness. Can destroy any nation with one phone call. Who is she calling, right? Trump's like, I wish I had that power. I don't have that power. She has the power. Who is she calling? Trump's like, wink, wink, not. Is Trump just like confirming that there's something else bigger than the president of the United States that's calling all the shots here that you could call and they act on behalf of that? As he says, you are watching a modern remake of Austin Powers called Susie Powers. Now, National File came out in an article talking about some of the work that she did with China. Now, again, Trump's policies have been a little flip-floppy on China, but compared to his predecessor, he's definitely a lot more aggressive on China than Joe Biden was. That was giving China almost everything that they wanted. Now, the article's interesting here. I find this New York Post article the most interesting out of all of them, as it's titled, Trump 2024 Aide Who Allegedly Saw Classified Map Works for China Lobbying Firm, a top Donald Trump campaign advisor who apparently was shown classified documents by the former president. This article was released in June of 2023, by the way. So 2.5 years ago, has a post at a lobbying firm serving Chinese entities that potentially pose a national security threat and help Beijing commit human rights abuses. Susie Wiles works on Trump's 2024 campaign and is co-chair of Mercury Public Affairs, which has taken millions of dollars in recent years from Chinese companies such as Yilink, Hikvision, and Alibaba. Wiles, a veteran of several GOP campaigns, including Ron DeSantis' 2018 run for Florida governor, has also identified one of several people to whom the 45th president allegedly revealed sensitive material to, ABC News reported. Right, and then you go on, and you read in the article, and it says, Trump told the person he should not be showing the map and not to get too close, prosecutors say. If confirmed, the episode is further complicated by both Wiles' high standing in the Trump campaign and her firm's lobbying for potential hostile entities. Though a search of the Justice Department's registry of foreign agents indicated Wiles had not worked directly for those clients. Quote, Susie could put Trump away for years in just 1 minute of testimony to Jack Smith, end quote. A rival GOP operative told the Post, an anonymous source. It's important to know it's an anonymous source here. Quote, she got Trump by the balls, which means she can name her price for her loyalty and Trump can't say no, end quote. Listen, that's the New York Post. Is that actually what's going on here? As of course, Trump went through a lot of legal proceedings and they were really trying to put him away. And listen, she is being represented as a lady of the lobbyist, and there are a lot of rumors that her and Elon Musk butted heads together, and that she was the one that kind of shunned him out of the White House. As Tim Burchett reveals that Elon Musk was run out of the White House because, quote, he was getting too close to exposing corrupt officials getting rich off of dark money from NGOs. That's what Congressman Tim Burchett said. And listen, I think it's fair to argue, and I think it's also fair to see, a lot of dark money, a lot of NGOs, a lot of lobbyists are getting a lot of things that they always wished and wanted under this administration, right? There's no denying that, right? Even major Trump supporters are saying that here.
What should happen to the Clintons?
They should be punished. We should get to the bottom of everything. We should find out where the money went. We should find out where the money went when they were down there in that island. Not just the Epstein Island,
Haiti?
Haiti. But too many people got rich off this. Look, Benny, here's how it works. It's just the NGOs, and let's talk about them non-government organizations which are government. Just my bill to defund the Taliban. 1,000 NGOs plus you add the UN, probably 3,000 NGOs. The money flows, and Elon Musk had it right, and that's why I think both parties shunned themselves from him, because he said, hey, that was NGOs, and money flows right back to Washington. And he told me, he said, I think it flows in the pockets of politicians. I mean, you had the ranking member of the committee I serve on that went through the bill to defund the Taliban, which, still waiting in the Senate for them to pass it. All kinds of confusion over there. They're fighting over the NGOs. The money, he told me the money flows right from your pockets to the dadgum NGOs. The NGOs, the money comes right back to Washington in the form of dark money and in the pockets of politicians. That's why you're seeing Republicans go squishy on NGOs, because they're shady as hell. They all are. I mean,
Yeah, and listen, we were really hoping Elon Musk would kind of go in there, change stuff up. Susie's comments about Elon Musk were very, very interesting. Before I talk about RFK's kind of defense of her, here's kind of her comments when asked directly about the kind of cozy relationship that she saw between Elon and Trump, which was more of like a father-son type of relationship.
This has been a pretty smooth presidency, but one little hiccup was Elon.
Yeah. Little hiccup?
Little hiccup, yeah. I mean, I saw Elon Musk here, very comfortable coming in and out of the Oval Office.
Big hiccup. And if you're the chief of staff running stuff and Elon's coming in and it's like, yeah, I'm going to get rid of all this corruption and ties and all these lobbyists. As a former lobbyist, you're naturally going to be like, wait, hold on a minute. I run this house.
Had sleepovers in the Lincoln bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed almost as if he had a sort of fatherly fixation with Donald Trump that I guess inevitably was going to blow up at some point. How did you see that relationship?
Similar.
Yeah.
The president was very, very kind to him. And Elon had so much to offer us. He knew things we didn't know. He knew people and technologies that we didn't know. It was a great thing when it was a great thing. And had a very troublesome ending.
Why do you think? The troublesome ending was literally Elon coming out and saying, Trump's on the Epstein list, that's why you're never going to get it. And the more this administration kind of fights against it, and more the advisors keep leading down Trump a bad path, a bad way, it's not going to help him. Catherine Austin Fitts a couple of months ago was saying, if they want to get rid of Trump, they'll just use the Epstein list to get rid of Trump. And they might do that by the end of 2025.
Think that happened?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I don't know. I know that what has been said doesn't ring accurate to me, but I don't know. I enjoyed working with Elon. I think he's a fascinating person and sees the world differently. And I think that's probably what the president saw too, just a little bit different than the average Joe. But certainly came to not a good ending.
Yeah, it wasn't nice. As of course, a lot of people were saying, well, Deutsche did good with USAID, but they never even got to the FBI. They never got to the CIA. They never got to the Pentagon. They never got to these huge institutions that clearly are run by lobbyists and special interest groups and the donor class that are able to do whatever they want to us. Now, a lot of people are also saying, hey, we need action on Kuf and what happened here. And a lot of people are saying we might not get it because of the way that this White House is operating. As, of course, a lot of people are saying it's Susie Wiles that is blocking the Trump White House from being able to accomplish a lot of accountability, specifically when it comes to a lot of the MAHA health movement. But RFK Jr. came out, and we have seen very similar statements made during the Epstein saga, where a lot of government representatives and agencies were like, no, they're great. Kash Patel's like, no, Pam Bondi's great. Trump's like, Pam Bondi's great. Yeah. And everyone's like, what is she doing? And then they were all like glazing each other through these posts. Some people say that this was kind of forced, as there's been a lot of pressure. As Robert Kennedy Jr. says, the MAHA movement has no better friend in Washington than Susie Wiles, who has supported every effort to, quote, end chronic disease epidemic and restore health freedom for every American. A small number of chaos agents are now targeting Susie out of ignorance or malice. Let's focus on our extraordinary achievements to date. Now listen, they did a lot of great stuff. They're continuing to do a lot of great stuff. They still need to like ban fluoride, but like I kind of was expecting more. I want more to be done here personally. But out of all the government agencies, out of the whole entire Trump administration, I think it's Tulsi and RFK Jr. that are doing the most and have done the best. All right, and give credit where credit's due. And he talks about the monumental work that still needs to be done. I refuse to be distracted. Let's build our coalition instead of splintering it. He goes on. And then he talks about Stephanie Spear and the drama there. Health Ranger says disagree. Says Susie is the best friend of Big Pharma. She was a high-level executive at Mercury. And talks about how a lot of the accusations that are being made against her are credible. But what do you think? Do you think she is the main reason, the main cause why a lot of this is unfolding the way it is? Or do you think it's a scapegoat meant to splinter the movement, cause chaos within Trump's administration to create more infighting? What do you think is really going on here? Let me know down in the comment section below. As, of course, there are a lot of accusations. There are a lot of anonymous sources. What actually is really going on? Who knows? Let's start that conversation down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for signing up. Again, very tumultuous time for our YouTube channel. That's not doing too well. So LukeUnfiltered.com, your support needed now more than ever. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that, and this is why. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. All here exclusively on YouTube.com/WeAreChange.